that was our big break, because you could be just as talented as you were before, but it takes that person who everybody respects in Nashville to get behind you and say, hey, listen to these girls. Their music's great. But until you have that, it's really, really hard to get Nashville's attention without that.
Welcome to On the Bus with Country Thunder. We have a great show planned for you. This week's guest is sister duo named Tigirlily Gold, Kendra and Krista. Debut album Blonde came out in July of 24, worked their way through the bar scene in Nashville. Now they're hitting the big stages in North America. Sisters grew up in Hazen, North Dakota, which is unbelievable to have this kind of success coming from North Dakota, a little small town. They won New Duo of the Year at the ACMs last year in 2024. This makes them the only second female duo to ever win the award, which is unbelievable. Please welcome to our show, Tigirlily Gold. See, we got to talk about this because this is amazing. And Kendra and Krista, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for coming over today. I mean, we used to do this on the bus, but it's off season, so and it's great to have you.
This place is beautiful, so I'm not mad about it.
It's very homey.
Well, thank you. We usually have the fire rolling, but I mean, they don't let us do that here today, you know. So, but
don't want to be
so North Dakota.
Yes.
How did you get your start?
Well, we're from North Dakota. We're sisters. Grew up there, obviously. We started when we were 14 and 16. We started Tigirlily, and we started touring around the Midwest, basically doing any show that anyone would let us play.
So you named the band or the group immediately?
Pretty much. I mean, Kendra's 2 years older, and she always loved to sing. So she's the lead singer of the group. I do all the harmony, acoustic guitar, and we write all our songs together. But she caught the singing bug really early on and was doing like little talent shows, Colgate Country Showdown, if you remember those. Around the area, and she loved performing, and me being the little sister was like, well, I don't want to be left in the dust. So we joined forces. I learned harmony from 2000s country radio, and for a while I think we went by Kendra and Krista, but you're talking, this is 10 and 12 years old. By 14 and 16 we were like, we need a cool band name, because we were listening like Sugarland, Rascal Flats, Lady A, Little Big Town, and we were super inspired by all those really cool band names. So honestly, it comes from the Tigirlily flower, because it grew naturally in our parents' backyards. And then later on, we added on gold just for several reasons, but Tigirlily Gold, and we also changed the spelling of Tigirlily to Tigirlily. So that's why we spell it different.
I was going to say that. And I was talking to my staff. They're like, no, maybe don't go there. And I was like, but that's how it's spelled. And I think it's really cool. So it's kind of like a girl empowerment thing, right?
It is. I
love it.
Very much so.
That's fantastic. So working North Dakota and doing all the local stuff and that. So when did you feel you got your break? How did it happen? I mean, you're in the highest level of, I mean, Shane McAnally, I can't even speak how awesome artist and guy and talented individual. How did you run into Shane McAnally? How did he find you guys? I mean, it's pretty magical.
We kind of call it a God thing, because when you ask, when did we get our break? I think our break was when we signed a record deal.
Yeah.
Sure.
Our first big break, because
that's on Monument, right?
Yeah, Monument Records, division of Sony. We moved to Nashville almost 8 years ago at this point, and we started playing downtown Nashville because we needed to pay our rent and we wanted to do music for a living. We could have got other jobs, but we wanted to be able to make a living playing music, because that's always been our bottom line. Yeah. So we did Broadway for about 3 years, Nudies Honky Tonk, 2 years at Dirks Bentley's Whiskey Row. And I would say Whiskey Row was the main bar we played at. And 2020 rolled around and, shut down everything. We were out of work. I mean, that was our bread and butter. And we really didn't know what music was going to bring in this next couple of years. And it was really hard times, but we got a call in 2020, late 2020, from Monument Records, and we had never met Shane McAnally. So Shane co-owns Monument Records, and we were just huge fans of his songwriting. We'd always been songwriting fans, and we just wanted to write with him. I mean, much less work with him in this aspect, but we got a call, and it was so quick. We got a call, and we walked in, and it was the most nervous we've ever been.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Shane McAnally, Jason Owen, which Jason Owen's also a huge
Sandbox
manager.
Entertainment.
And I mean, he manages Kelsey and Dan and Shay and Casey. And so you're sitting in front of...
That's Shania Twain for a while.
Yeah. So,
Everybody.
and Katie McCartney, who she runs Monument Records. So you're sitting in front of these three people and you're like, my life could change in this moment.
Yeah.
And so we were so nervous. And honestly, we hadn't been playing like any shows because of the pandemic. We had been on TikTok really trying to dive into the social media thing and had some videos blowing up on there. But yeah, we met with them and honestly, not too long after that, signed with Monument. And ever since then, I feel like our journey has just really, really picked up. It's been over 12 years now that we've been doing this. And then the last few years, we've had a couple songs go to country radio. We won our first ACM award, which is, I see a lot of ACM awards in here. And it's just been a really, really cool journey. But to have someone like Shane in your corner, who you look up to so much, to have him being part of the A&R process of when you're going in to cut a record or things like that, it's just really cool. He helped co-write our brand new single that's going to radio called Forever From Here. Yeah, he's great.
But it's super cool. I mean, both Kendra and I agree that was our big break, because you could be just as talented as you were before, but it takes that person who everybody respects in Nashville to get behind you and say, hey, listen to these girls. Their music's great. But until you have that, it's really, really hard to get Nashville's attention without that.
So let's regress a little bit. So a lot of artists, I mean, I believe music has changed over the course of, that year and a half or whatever we were down during COVID. I think the business has changed considerably. You've done it the way that most artists that have long, stable careers, they went out and earned their applause. They had to get the guy at the back of the bar to pay attention to their music. So over the course of time and learning how to entertain and perform and making sure that everyone's being, attentive to your performance.
Yeah.
What do you think that is? I'm sure you're live. I've never seen you, and I apologize for that because I'm going to see you. I think
Hey,
this is,
come on out.
Because I love the fact of the road that you took, where you actually did it the tougher way, but I think that gives longevity. But explain to me the trials and tribulations of working those clubs and trying to get that person in the back row listen to your music.
I mean, it's terrifying when you do your first 4-hour cover gig. You have to learn 60 to 80 songs, and it's an audition basically. So we skipped class at Belmont to go audition at Nudies. That was the first time we had done a 4-hour cover gig.
Nudies was your
first gig.
Yeah. And so you're just on this stage in this bar and you're like, okay, how do I entertain these people who have no idea who I am for 4 hours? It's the 10,000 hour rule, honestly. Like, you just got to play and you learn. And we were terrible probably right away. I mean, we had some natural, charisma or whatever,
But it's a skill.
it is.
I mean, yes, you need to have natural talent, but also you need to work at it and develop that skill. And both Kendra and I agree. It's, hey, if we can get people who don't know, don't care, just want to have fun and party in Nashville to pay attention to us, we really believe we can do anything now.
Take that with us everywhere we go now, whether it's, a bar or a festival.
Or opening up for somebody who their fans are not familiar with you. It's kind of the same thing. And you can take those skills and apply them really anywhere. And just the art of entertaining,
And kind of, I mean, for me, it's like my whole life I've been so focused on I have to be vocally perfect and do all these things and whatever. But it's really not about that as much. It's more about making the people in the bar or wherever you're at just feel happy, feel sad. It's more about that. It's more about entertaining than anything. And I think you see that with, just some of the best entertainers of all time. You can't focus so much on being in your head and worrying about every pitch, every note, every word. It's just like, how can I entertain these people?
Audience.
How can I connect with them and make sure they have the best time here today?
Wow, that's super cool. I think there's something to be said about playing live and getting your chops before, hitting the big stage, as we'll call it. Like we said before, that era of a lot of artists respond during that 2020 pandemic, and a lot of TikTok kids came out of that, and a lot have done extremely well in that era. It's kind of an interesting thing because, I mean, it's a catch-22 scenario. You get Zach Bryan, he's selling out stadiums right now, and he came out of that whole vibe, right?
Yeah.
That time period. So what are your goals? Like, what do you guys, like, I know what your goals are. That's a silly question, but where's Tigirlily Gold going after you leave here? Like, what's going on? What's the future? You got a record coming out in August?
Yeah,
well,
somewhere
we
in the
actually
fall.
don't have a release date, but yeah, a new record this fall. So it could be for anywhere from August to November. Yeah,
Sure.
we've not put a stamp on it yet, but yeah, we'll say August from now. I like the
I like
quickness of
August.
it.
Earlier
Yeah,
the
let's
better. Yeah.
let's speed it up.
And then
Come
so you
on.
start putting out some singles, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we just put out a new single called Forever From Here. That goes to radio on Monday, actually. So it's our new song at country radio.
And I know you said that goals are, like I know what your goals are, but we do have some very specific goals because
Let's talk about it.
yeah, in specifically with country radio, there's never been a sister duo in the history of country music ever to have a #1 at country radio. So we've always had that big overarching, like we could be the first of something, which is absolutely crazy at this point. But yeah, we'd love to have a #1 at country radio. And then obviously many #1s after that, but focusing on the first one for sure. And honestly, Kendra and I, at the peak of it all, if we can sell out arenas, obviously headlining, but if thousands of people are paying to come to our shows, that's really the goal because we love live performing the best out of anything. We love writing songs, we love all of that, but performing live is our favorite thing.
Yeah, that's
to
where you
do.
get your buzz,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So who was your biggest influences? The Chicks?
Yeah, we loved the Chicks, but we honestly kind of discovered them a little bit later. It was a
Sugarland?
lot of Sugarland, Rascal Flatts, Little Big Town Lady A, Taylor, Miranda Carey, Shania,
Hill.
Faith Hill. So a lot of groups and a lot of
Female voices.
strong female voices were big influences for us. And then our mom always had Garth Brooks on too, so we listened to a lot of Garth. But yeah, that was kind of, and American Idol winners.
Yeah.
So like a lot of Kelly Clarkson or Jordan Sparks or Chris Daughtry, like a lot of different influences. And then we grew up in church too, so
Yeah.
just all the hymns and stuff. So it's kind of all of that.
You sing in
has-
church?
Yeah, we sang in church all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time. Every Sunday.
Emmanuel Baptist represent them.
right.
Yeah, so just so many different influences, and yeah, it's been a fun journey. But I feel like we're definitely leaning more into that early 2000s, late 90s sound for the next record, which I'm very excited about. We've always been country, but it's getting country-er.
Yeah, I just heard the other day, which is kind of interesting, that the band Perry's coming back out again.
Oh, I love that.
And they're going to do the
Yes.
country thing again. And I was like, it's interesting because I think it could really work. I think
They were killing it. Better Dig 2 and If I Die
They were on
Young, and-
fire.
yeah, they were a huge influence for
Great
us too,
songs.
honestly. And I think Shane wrote some of those
and
songs.
I'm going to know Kimberly Perry a little bit, but yeah, she's so nice. And yeah, wish them the best. And man,
I hope they go country.
they want to crank out some more band Perry hits. I'm not going to be mad about it. I love their music.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what's up this year? So tell us about what 2025 is for the band.
Yeah. Just honestly still working on this record and then touring a lot. Doing a lot of festivals, a lot of casinos, a lot of fairs, a lot of headlining stuff, all of the above. I still feel like, we're at the level where we're the up and coming. So we do the, smaller bars, which we honestly love. I feel like
love a good club.
I think our favorite thing is like a small bar or club where you can just see everybody's
With a
face.
captive audience that's rocking,
Captive,
right?
yes, with
Yeah.
a captive, and you're just like, these are my people. But I, we also love if we get put on an arena show with an act or a big festival, and so we get to do, Stagecoach and CMA Fest, all that coming up. So it's going to be a really fun year, but really excited about the new music, honestly. And
Every year, we're like very pleasantly surprised by things that happen.
right.
Even with last year when we won the ACM award, we can't plan for those things to happen. Obviously, you
No.
can want them really bad, but we're pleasantly surprised, which I'm glad we're pleasantly surprised by things, not the other way around.
Yeah.
But half the time our fans will be like, did you guys know that this is happening? I'm like, no, I don't know what's happening. So we applaud our fans and also our mom for keeping us on track. So,
Yeah. But honestly, every year, like this is are we going on 13 now?
Dang.
12, 13? Every year that
13 going on 30, which is how I feel in this industry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Every year we make it through another year making a living, doing music. We're like, well, we're still here.
Yeah,
We're
still doing it.
We're still making it.
So since this is your passion, my question to you is, do you think you've ever worked a day?
Yes.
I don't mean
Yes.
working a day in the sense of not working hard,
Yes.
but working a day where it's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yes, because when we were down on
Well,
Broadway,
I never not wanted to do it anymore. But I will say I have had days where it does feel like strictly like work or the parts of the music industry that I don't personally enjoy, but I know it's important to do the things
journey.
I enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, I want people to sell tickets at a live show. And in order to do that, you got to do all the social media stuff and everything that comes with that. And some of those things we don't enjoy, but we know it's important for the end results. But
Yeah, I
you
mean, when
can-
it's 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning in a bar and there's 2 people there and you're playing free falling, it's not, you know, it's not always work. It's not always the most fun, but you're like, listen, this is part of the journey, part of the process, and hopefully these 2 people really enjoy this song right here.
I always come back to it's Kendra and I truly enjoy our job. I hate calling it a job because we love music, but
It's a lifestyle.
it's a lifestyle. But our dad's a respiratory therapist and he'll pull 12-hour shifts at a hospital. And I'm like, who am I to be like, oh, my job is hard or tough? Sure, we get tired. Sure, we're worn out from traveling, but like, got to keep it real also.
Yeah.
There's so many people working their butts off. So it's,
But it is work because
Yeah.
when you have to go and do meet and greets when you're not, you may have the stomach flu or whatever and not feeling your best. You got to put your
come here.
and you got to put your best on every day. I mean, you have this persona that you're carrying, and I mean, it's very important to your career.
Yeah,
that is work.
It is, and we're all just human at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
right? But yeah, for some reason, you know, if you do music or you're in movies, people like think that sometimes you're not. I mean, not us personally, but other people think they're not as human, and it's crazy. It's like we all get sick, we all have bad days, we all, you know, have times when we're not feeling our best. But you still have to. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, I'm going to give, not every day is your absolute best, but I'm going to give my best today.
Yeah, and we can it's really nice being in a duo because we can keep each other in check as far as how we're feeling. We also humble each other daily just because we're sisters. Not that we try to.
I love that you're sisters.
Yeah,
I think
but like we keep it real.
I think it's the coolest thing ever.
We
Like,
keep it real and also
you seem like you really get along.
We do.
it's a good dynamic. We actually have one more younger sister. Her name's Carly, and she was never wanted to be in the band. She never had interest in the music thing, but we actually do really get along, and we get asked that a lot. Like, do y'all like fight a ton? Like, how's your relationship? And it's, man, if we hated each other, we absolutely could not be a band. Absolutely.
I mean,
I really feel. Oh, go ahead.
No, I would say we get to play festivals together. We get to, if, you know, we're having a terrible day, we can just look at each other and laugh about what's going on. Like, you have someone else with you the whole time. How is that not better? I always, you know.
Unless you don't like the person.
Exactly.
It's fun. Like, after a show, we're pretty chill in our camp. We like to have fun sometimes, but we'll be like, hey, you want to like come to my hotel room and do a face mask and, you know, watch
You
Friends.
can do a face mask with us sometime.
I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah. That's really the Tigirlily camp these days.
Let's take care of our skincare.
Yeah, come on.
That's fantastic. I'm so happy because there's a lot of stories about duos that, you know, aren't so happy. I've been through a couple breakups with different bands that I have been a part of, but you know, around and you know, the irony is that everyone tries to go out and do it on their own, and then they always come back to their partner.
Better together.
And they better together, 100%. And you can go through the list of duos who've done that, and they're back together and doing better than they've ever done. So there's something to be said about getting along.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting point too, because you don't necessarily see a lot of new duos and groups coming up as much as like solo artists, right? You see a lot of female and male artists coming up, but I think it's because as long as it takes to actually make it in this industry, like
we had 8 years of being completely unrecognized by
and
Nashville and broke. Yes,
right.
Yeah.
So, you know, to make it that far, a lot of people just don't want to do that and end up not liking each other by the end. And I get it, especially if you weren't family with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have to like each other no matter what, you know, because we are
do.
sisters. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Brothers Osborne, they have to like each other. They're brothers.
And I feel like also for Kendra and I, our strengths and personalities balance each other out so well. Like I said, she's a lead singer. I've never had an interest in lead singing ever. Like, even when I was 12, I just never really enjoyed it, wanted to do it. I focused way more on harmony and guitar and all the really nerdy theory stuff in music because I'm super into that. But there's no ego in the band.
Yeah.
I joke, and this is my dry, sarcastic humor. I'm like, you know what? I have the ego of a lead singer. I just don't have the talent for it. And I'm like, it's just me making fun of myself. But we balance each other out really well. That's true. So it's right. I've said it.
So let's talk about the writing. I assume you write.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you've been doing it a long time. So where do you pop your ideas from? And are you lyrically driven or are you melody driven, or how do you, and what comes first in your process? Because everyone has a process, right?
Well, for us, we always write all of our own songs together because we feel like that creates the best Tigirlily sound.
Yeah, sure.
But Krista, we have very different strengths when it comes to that as well. Krista's amazing at coming up with a vibe. She's great at phrase. Like I'll be like, I have this lyric, phrase it for me so it fits into what we need it to fit into. She's great at that. You're just really witty and you can spit off lyrics left and right. And
Kendra, obviously being the lead singer, is more melodically driven because if she doesn't like singing it or the melody, we're just not going to cut it, you know? So she's got to love the melody. She's got to like how it feels on her voice. But Kendra's very great with ideas, honestly. I feel like a lot of our songs that we end up cutting are actually Kendra's ideas. She's very good conceptually, keeps me on track. I'm a little ADHD squirrel brain sometimes, so I'm like spitting off lyrics and she's like, well, does this actually make sense altogether? So again, she's very big picture and great with melody. And yeah, it's really just seamless how, I mean, yes, we argue in the writing room of like, no, this is how it should be. This is how it should be. But we're arguing always for the song. And sometimes if we know our co-writers really well, we'll be like, what do you think? And we really put them on the hot seat. We make them extremely uncomfortable.
When it comes to like picking songs for a record, we 99% agree on all the songs. I mean, every once in a while we'll have a difference of a song or two, but overall.
Or you might have some, your non-negotiables might be a little bit different than mine, but we like all the songs that we cut.
Yeah. But like when it comes to choosing a single or whatever, we always are on the same page.
So I've always wondered what it was like, and I've never been in a writer's room before. So y'all go into a room and you have friends in there, other writers, maybe some that are more accomplished than you, or maybe some that are less accomplished than you. What's that vibe like when you have 3 other people in the room with y'all?
Well, honestly, it's amazing. And thankfully, because we've been in Nashville for almost 8 years now, we've gotten into just some incredible rooms, and we've just tried to write with anyone who would write with us, basically. But we've gotten to the point where we have certain groups of people that we just automatically know we're going to write really good songs with. And so when it comes to writing a record, we'll make sure we get more of those writes.
But also there's kind of a magic to a first write as well. And I will say we usually have us 2 and then usually 2 other people in the ring. It's usually a 4-way, right? I think 3 other people would be too much, because if you get too many people in the room, you can just never fully agree. And I feel like a song gets watered down if everyone has to agree on stuff all the time. But yeah, sometimes the magic of a first write is interesting because you want to bring your best. You bring your best. You always want to bring your best. But when you get really comfortable around a group of writers too, sometimes you're like, I know where to get good stuff, and maybe you don't bring your A game. But the first write, you're like, I'm really trying to impress these people, and so are they. So sometimes the magic of a first write is really cool. And that's why we always keep trying new people.
And I'm intimidated, but I like being in rooms. I like being on shows. I like being in rounds with artists and writers who have more success than me.
Or better.
Yeah, or better. Like I want to be pushed and I want to learn from those people. And so as intimidating as it can be sometimes, like when you're in a room with Shane McAnally, you're like, what am I doing here? But like someone like that, Shane, he's like, he has all these hits and he's sitting there going, I love that melody, Kendra. That's a great line, Krista. And he's pointing out and it's just, that's why he's so good at what he does, because he takes what an artist does and just accentuates that. And so you see why he's had so much success. But yeah, I like being in those rooms because at the end of the day, I call Krista after. I'm like, did I even do anything today? Like, did I seem worthless in that room?
And these are the conversations we'll have with each other after.
No,
rides.
You're not worthless.
No, I was like, well, Kendra, you're the artist, so you have to be there. And then I'm also like, yes, you contributed. You did a great job. And you're just in your head.
But sometimes, with some of these
writers. I love that you have each other's back. And
we always have side notes.
I love that.
Yeah, no, we really try to, like, there's no use tearing each other down. Like I said, we only like bicker when we're, I guess, arguing about what to wear or the little things. But yeah, we really try to hype each other up because it's like this industry is already so tough and there's a million different people with a million different opinions. So we might as well have each other's back.
Yeah, I mean, it's really as supportive as this industry is, it's also trying to knock you down all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if we don't,
inevitably,
we don't have each other's backs and aren't rooting each other on, we might as well just throw in the towel.
Then, like it's just us.
Yeah.
Well, that's very special. So How is it to play, when you play a big festival and you have an early slot and there's not a lot of people out there. So how do you inspire yourselves to go out there and kick ass and be who you are, be Tigirlily Gold, and just like, we're going to make an impact and be inspired? Like,
Yeah.
because that's got to be self-inspiring.
It is,
right? Because the audience, you have to,
For sure.
not there
They're
for you.
walking in
Yeah.
and they're kind of getting, not everybody wakes up for the 3 p.m.
Right.
Or,
2
slot.
or you want,
Yeah, whatever it
which I
is.
understand. They went hard last night,
Yeah.
and I understand that.
Or they're there waiting for the headliner. You know, if it's, Hardy or something like that. And then we show up, it's like, okay, this is not, they're probably not ready for what we're about to do. So we always just,
we do feel like this is where having a little bit of an edge or a chip can be good sometimes, because there's some shows where the audience is solely there for us, and it's such an easy crowd. We walk out there, we're like, I don't have to win these people over at all.
Like this is
is
just gonna be
They
fun.
bought the
so
ticket
easy.
This
for
is
Tigirlily.
amazing.
Yeah, but other shows you do have to prove yourself, and that's just the reality of it. So we just try to like show people, we're like, hey, if we can get their attention, make a couple new fans, and maybe give people something they weren't expecting.
And by the end of the show, people are paying attention.
Yes.
That's a win for us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The different mindset though. And really we enjoy performing. So
It's a little competitive. It's like,
oh yeah.
okay, how can we do
turn
this
them
today?
Yeah. How are we gonna turn
See, I
them?
love that.
Yeah.
Because I've spoken to a lot of artists throughout the course of my career of having these late night discussions of, different topics and about performing. And I'm totally intrigued by it, because I come from an era where you came from, where artists worked their way through the bars and learning really how to entertain. And then we got thrown into this, era right now where some of these kids have never played in front of a live audience before, and they're having success, and all of a sudden, voila. And a lot are great, some of them naturals, but some aren't. And it's interesting to see how that works, and having great fame and not being able to perform that's like oil and vinegar.
It's
It
hard,
doesn't
yeah.
work, right?
Man,
but
I can't imagine if someone would just throw me out there at 12 and been like, you have a huge fan base, but you've never played a show. That's terrifying.
yeah.
Terrifying.
I mean, it
I've got
works.
100 million, followers on TikTok or whatever, and I gotta go play a
demand.
gig tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting to watch that, and sometimes it, because there's a lot of artists never played live who can actually pull it off. I don't know if they're thinking about it in their sleep or whatever, but
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Natural,
It's cool.
yeah.
And some not so great, but I love what you guys are doing with your career. I think you guys are gonna have a lot of longevity in your career.
Thank
So
you.
let's talk about what 26 is. It sounds like you're gearing up with this record later in the year.
Mhm.
26 sounds like it's going to be your year. What are your plans?
Oh man.
I
well,
know it's a little premature to ask that question, but
hopefully
what are your goals in 26?
Yeah.
Hopefully in 26 we're on to our second or third number one.
Yes.
Hopefully we are on a major worldwide tour with one of our favorite artists. Either as, first or second opener. Hopefully we're doing our own big club,
Small
arena tour. I mean, that's next year. That'd be pretty quick, obviously.
Oh, why not?
No, that's doable.
Yeah,
but yeah,
totally.
so
Like, hey,
I-
if you get a couple songs to
Right.
write,
I'm thinking,
pop
okay,
off.
say we
Yeah.
have 2 or 3 hits by next year.
We've always, so we won an ACM award last year for new group or duo of the year. We definitely, our goal in the next year or two is to be nominated for the main duo category.
Yeah.
I don't see us winning that for a couple of years. Like, and that's just me being so realistic, because you never know what can change. But to be not in that category, the duo, because that duo category does not turn over very quick. Obviously you have like Brooks and Dunn winning last year. It's like that once they had their people, they hang on to their people for decades. And that's super cool for us, because once we get in,
Yeah.
we're in. I mean, I'll be there for the next 20 years.
No, I
so.
No, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
It's interesting because they're one of the acts that I was alluding to earlier, right? When they broke up and they both had their, solo careers, and they put the band back together, and here they are, and they're doing better business than they probably did.
Yeah.
The reboots, man. So good.
The Neon
So good.
Circus or whatever it was called back in, I don't know, before I was born, but
Legends.
they are legends.
Yeah.
They absolutely are, and they deserve every bit of success
yeah.
that they get. But it's interesting. So from a duo standpoint, who were your duos other than Sugarland? Who were the duos that inspired you? Because obviously you it's like anything. You look at a duo and go, oh, we are a duo, and let's try to follow that path.
I mean, honestly, Dan and Shay, Brothers
Brothers
Osborne.
Osborne.
I mean, I remember when Maddie and Tay came out with Girl in a Country Song.
like, they're
and we
awesome.
were
It's like a
at
banger.
home in North Dakota, and I was
Totally.
like, Krista, man, I wish we would have had this song.
Yeah, I was
this
like-
is such a good song. This is amazing. And seeing them just
So you're still in North Dakota at that particular.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point when Maddie and Tay had come out with that song, we were still in North Dakota, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, and it was
Like,
also cool to see a girl duo
just being so
having
badass.
that much success too. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, they're paving the
If
way.
they're doing it, we can do it. Yeah.
It just shows that it's possible and it's very doable.
The
Judds.
Yeah.
But even obviously country duos were inspired by, but Kendra and I have always said we have a little bit of this girl group energy. So even just girl groups of the past, which I know Heart is a duo, but
Yeah.
I mean, just like badass women that I'm
I
like,
think Heart were the original duo.
Are they?
yeah, aren't they like the best? Like Heart's probably the duo, right?
Yeah, Heart's
Yeah,
amazing.
I can I say they're probably like just the best of all time.
I
Like,
don't think anyone's gonna like
You can't
have a
say that.
hard time
Yeah.
disagreeing. And Judd's for country. It's
Yeah.
like those two are like
and
Yeah,
Brooks
I
and
agree.
Dunn. Yeah, I mean,
No, but female artists.
Yeah, but female duos.
That's
agree
female.
with
Yeah,
that
yeah,
totally.
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also we
I
grew
mean,
up
Heart's
on
still selling out.
yeah.
I mean, they're running this year with Cheap Trick, and I mean, they're selling out everywhere they're playing, which
Well,
is
I mean,
totally, absolutely amazing.
incredible. Like their
It is.
voices are just
Yeah,
so
they still have the
timeless
voices.
and
Yeah.
so strong and powerful. And so to look at a duo like that, and like the Spice Girls,
Yeah.
and Wilson Phillips,
Oh, yeah,
and
Wilson Phillips.
TLC, and
We
just,
cover a lot of that stuff
The
because
TLC still going.
yeah.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
great business.
so
We
all
want to
those-
bring a little of that to what we do as well in the country.
Oh, I love that.
space.
The little because I
Yeah.
mean, I don't mean my personal opinion of what I'm looking at in country music is it isn't where it used to be. I think there's a lot of genders, music that is amalgamating with each other.
Yep.
And it's not like we are country and we don't do this.
No.
And that's the way it used to be.
Yeah.
And the fan base is so much broader than it was ever. I mean, I think that
With Post Malone.
yeah, it's
and-
massive, right? A lot
Yeah.
of crossovers everywhere,
Yeah.
you know. It happened, I think, a little bit in the 70s with Dolly and Kenny Rogers, but I think right now we're living in a time where it's a special place. So it's a great place for you guys if that's
Yeah.
what you're thinking.
We're really excited. It's a fun place for us to be right now because we're definitely
the world is wide open
we've
right
we've
now.
got to do so many things that we have always dreamed of, but we still have so many really big goals that we're chasing. And so it's just we're still very hungry where we're at right now because we still have so much that we want to accomplish. And we do want to be around for a long time. We want to have staying power and longevity in this career because we don't know how to do anything else.
And don't want to do
So-
anything else.
So
you know?
we have to figure out how we can stay here a while. But yeah.
Yeah, I kind of faced the same thing personally too when I was like, I don't know anything other than this. So
Yeah.
you
You figure it out.
figure it out and
Exactly.
you just put your head down and go for it. And that's I think that creates that hunger, not only survival it comes into play, but also the hunger for success. And I think you ladies both have that. And I'm so excited. I'm so glad to meet you. I think
Yeah,
it
no,
is it's a real honor. And man, I
same.
wish you the greatest success. And I think
you.
you're gonna have it. I truly
Thank
believe
you.
that.
Well, thank you. It's so great to meet
Thanks
you.
for
I feel
having
like we're
us.
old friends now.
Yeah.
We are.
Canadian, North Dakota.
Yeah, it's quick, man.
Yeah.
No. But I have one last question for y'all. So here we are. It's a big week in Nashville, Tennessee. CRS is a
Yep.
big deal for radio.
Yeah.
Now I have a question for you. Radio or streaming? As we've seen, radio has kind of lost a lot of power in regards to, and in regards to how music's presented today. They don't have that ability to cross over. They either country or they're rock stations or whatever. And streaming has changed the business immensely.
Oh,
What
yeah.
are your thoughts on that?
Man, I think there's so many thoughts, honestly. I think they're both still so important. You can have a massive career without country radio. It's proven, but it's very rare still. You have like the Zach Bryan thing or the Casey Musgraves thing,
Mm-hmm.
where there are the anomalies where they're selling out arenas without country radio, but it is not the normal.
But if you're
still.
thinking about the top people in country music, they are being
cranking out country radio hits.
yes,
still.
cranking out country radio hits and also streaming massively. So I think you need both still to have major hits and have the kind of career you want. For us as a new artist, I think if we can have a top 10, top 5, number 1 at country radio, that could break us as an artist.
Because it can
And-
lead to so many other things.
Yeah.
Industry wise. It all is still part of the puzzle pieces of how this industry work. Even to get nominated for certain awards, you have to have a top 40 in country radio. So it's still a lot of the gatekeeping for country music industry. And I think it's so important. But I think streaming really tells where the fans are at a lot. Country radio has their demographic and you need to appeal to those people. And it's a great demographic. But streaming, that's free range. I mean, if you have high streaming numbers, people just want to listen to your music and they're going to seek it out.
And they'll come to your shows and you don't have to have a song at country radio to still have a really successful, amazing
But
career.
it helps a lot.
Yeah.
But
And we really want to.
you have to have both to really
Superstar.
be at the top.
I think of like,
I'm still a fan of radio. I think,
we are
I think
too.
radio is super cool.
I mean,
I think it's super important still. You look at right now, you think the superstar right now, Lainey Wilson.
Yeah.
she just had
Streaming's
her
great.
#1.
Eight number ones at country radio and massive. See, like hosting everything, doing everything.
Cody Johnson,
Yes.
Morgan,
The
Jelly
main
Roll.
country stars still are having country radio hits. And I think that's super important.
That's where we want to get to someday.
Oh, you're going to be there.
Oh, thanks.
I'm totally convinced of that.
Okay.
And I've only known you for half an hour.
Convinced
So,
you.
but I am. I think that your attitude is totally perfect. And like I said, I wish you guys the best. Thank you for coming
Thank you.
over
Thank you.
and having this great interview. And let's do this again.
Yeah.
Let's do this like in a year and
See where we're
Reflect
out.
and
and get you on Country Thunder next year.
That'd be
And
awesome.
if you're interested, and I would
We'll
love
We'll
to
be
have you.
interested.
It'd be fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
it's a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, nice to
Thank
meet
you
you.
very
Thanks
much.
for
Nice to
having
meet you.
us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot. Well, that's On the Bus at Country Thunder and Tiger Lily. And what a great day. Thank you very much for sharing this with us. Next up, we have a fun segment, Bring the Thunder. We're featuring new artists who are about to hit the charts. This week, we're featuring John Morgan. And this is interesting because you just never know how artists are discovered. John played Country Thunder last year. It was amazing. He was a new artist and came out with a bang. A random Uber driver connecting him to Jason Aldean offered him this first record deal. Morgan's story began when he was taking an Uber ride in Nashville, chatting up this driver about songwriting and stuff, you know? And the newcomer had his sights set on being a country star. So it was just his luck that the driver actually had written some songs for megastar Jason Aldean in the past. Well, they started talking, they got together, and the driver put him in contact with a couple of dudes who were in Jason's band. The rest is history. John Morgan has written songs for Jason Aldean and is a great artist on his own accord. John is on the road right now, but he graciously took some time from his busy tour schedule to give us a peek behind the scenes. Thanks for doing that, John. We can't wait to watch you on this next part of your career. I think you're going to be a smash and you're headed for the stars.
What's up, y'all? It's John Morgan here, joining you from Plain City, Ohio. Up here at the Granary, we're playing a show tonight. It's going to be fun. One of my favorite lyrics from one of my favorite songs. I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then. Toby Keith, classic. One of my favorite festival moments, a Summerfest in Milwaukee, 2024, I believe. Put on a great show there. That was a fun night. The one thing we always have to have on our bus is beef jerky. We all love beef jerky. It's a collective yes from all of us, so we always have that stashed somewhere on the bus. Y'all be on the lookout for my debut album, Carolina Blue, dropping April 25th.
I cannot thank Tigirlily Gold enough for coming by today. You know, their name itself, Tigirlily Gold, it's all about women power, and I think that they are the greatest candidates to carry that on. They're on a trajectory right now to be major artists in country music. They started out in the bars, and now they're playing the biggest stages in North America, which is amazing. Best of luck to Tigirlily Gold. Be sure to follow Country Thunder on all our social platforms at Country Thunder. We have new episodes dropping bi-monthly. Make sure to like and subscribe to the podcast so you will know when new episodes hit the feed.